Hey Brittany, I want to point out an issue with your paper, and it's hurt me all over to do this. Um, while these articles you found were in scholarly journals, they weren't scholarly research articles. I've taken the time to do a search, and I'm going to send you some links to look at. I want to show you what one of those looks like. This is from the Journal of Religious Health. It's got words in it I can't pronounce, and I have to tell you that's one of the first signs that you have a scholarly article in front of you. But it's actually a scholarly research article, which would be useful in statistics. I was wondering, like, when you were comparing your two articles, you're like, what is this? Because one was a case study. And a case study, in terms of evidence, especially in nursing and other places, is like one of the low levels of evidence. It usually only uses 1 to 5 people, or just a small group, or a small topic. It's not like the systematic reviews, which have many studies compared to each other, and they usually are used to establish best practices. But it would be composed of these type of articles I have in front of you, which are research articles. So how do you know that it is? Well, first of all, you can't pronounce the title, and I say that jokingly, but that's somewhat true. It will have an abstract. Never use the abstract. Usually it's not quite right. It's author provided. Oh, but definitely use the keywords. But what you're looking for, this is going to give you an overview. This is a literature survey of what the people read to be able to write this article and how they launched their survey. They define some topics. So when you see all these pieces, these refer to the end, the reference notes. This isn't actually the author's work. They're telling you what they're doing so far. This is when we get into what the authors and researchers are doing. They have listed a hypothesis. This would be a brilliant thing for you to mention in your piece, to perhaps to compare one hypothesis to another. And then we get to the method. And the method to me is one of the most exciting things in this world. I'm not sure you're thinking about right now, but I totally do. Because this talks about the sample consisted of 290 participants. There were 78 males. There were 212 females. They tell you who was involved, who weren't involved, what they did with them, where they were from. And this is the meat of the article that you want to compare to the other article. It tells you about their procedure. It tells you about their measures. And at the very end, and they show you the work as well. There it is. You'll see it. And at the very end, I think methods is one of the most critical parts of reading the article. The other thing would be conclusion, like what really happened. You'll also see their references. And I don't know what this is. Sometimes they have something called limitations, which is quite hilarious. Like, we thought we were going to do this, but this is what happened. So I'm going to send you some articles to look at that have this sort of section. So if you're going into the sciences, or if you're going to nursing or medicine, you're going to be working with articles that are composed in this manner. It's going to have a complicated title. It's going to have more than one author. Usually you'll see how to contact them. It's going to have an abstract, but it's given by the author. Never use it. Just use it as a guide. Read your articles backwards. Conclusion first, but make sure it has a methods section. It's going to tell you who was included, excluded, the protocols used, and what they hope to find. And at the end, they'll have a conclusion. This could be a failure or not a failure. You need to read the conclusion to find out, because the abstract, my friend, will never ever tell you it was a failure. Because failure in science is actually moving ahead. Now we know this doesn't work. Let's go to the next thing. So these are wondrous things, but make sure you know what really happened. So this is probably not specifically on your topic. It may be hard to search religion in a quantitative method, which is what you're looking for, because people are prone to, of course, do the case studies. Your other thing was like a history of, or a review of history or philosophy, but they didn't have numbers. They didn't have statistics. They weren't quantitative. So I'm just going to send you some things to look at, and I'll also look over your MLA. Okay? All right, I'm going to just make this short, under 5 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it.